I really hate how the screen looks. It looks fucking dog doo-doo. Oh, fuck. Die, pussy.
I knew it would happen. Ah, shit. You might die brave, but you'll die, you son of a bitch.
Oh, shit. Die! What? How did those both miss? Red Harlow doesn't miss. Bitch. Ow, 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 ow! Calm down! Calm down! Drink it! Drink it! Jesus, man. That was scary. I don't know why on higher difficulties you can't see them and they do higher damage, but I mean, it's whatever, I guess. I'm gonna be up here in most of the fucking thing anyway. So we get to talk. Nobody's watching. That's fine. Shit. Oh, fuck. Okay. This is the way to do it. You just gotta sit up here and kind of wait. He had a horse along the countryside. I saw him ride. He had a gun. I knew him well. I knew him. Oh, for fuck's sake. Dead. Did you do that? Alright. I gotta switch to this side now. Aim for the fucking head. Alright. The fuck? Okay. Oh, fuck it, I don't care. I'm never gonna... I bet that one shot hit a fucking horse that I wasn't aiming for. That's cool. It was really lame. Rockstar's really fucking burning my fucking brain with this game, dude. I am a Red Dead Online advocate. I love this multiplayer. The problem is, it's a love-hate relationship. Because I love it. Because it's everything I wanted out of the first Red Dead multiplayer, you know, GTA level customization, custom guns, dual wielding. You could make your own guy. You didn't have to play as other characters. But the problem is it's lacking the Western aesthetic. It just has all of the ingredients of Westerns. You know, the hats, the guns, the boots, the spurs. That's it. They don't have anything else. They don't have the dirt. They don't have the grain. They don't have the grittiness. It looks more like a swamp movie or like a Civil War game than anything else. Even though it's taking place in 1890, it should look more like a Western. But it doesn't. It spends most of the game in the swamps of Louisiana instead of, you know, in the West. Which I know is the point of the story. I mean, I'm not an idiot. I think I've played the story at least 3 times. So I know why it is. I just don't like that it is. because it kind of ruins. It doesn't ruin the Red Dead aesthetic, but I always saw it as dirty, realistic, dusty, like the unglorified version of a spaghetti western. You know, it's still got the dust and grime of real Wild West with the duels and the music of spaghetti western, which I think is the perfect combination for a Red Dead game. You know, you should always have that somewhat of realism in Red Dead. You know, where you know it's not as glorified as Hollywood westerns, but it should always have at least a little bit of that Hollywood aspect, because what's the point of, you know, if I wanted to play a fucking Wild West simulator, I'd just play Oregon Trail. But, it's not a Wild West simulator either, you know? Like,
I got you dead to rights.
You know, there is no, fucking... Well, did you just tie him up, for fuck's sake? It's not difficult. I've done it multiple times. He's just standing there like a fucking idiot. Like, like, just fucking tie him up, dude. I would really fucking appreciate it if they just gave up right now. Die! Oh, Jesus Christ! How many bullets? How many bullets does it take? I think I've shot him. I shot those guys at least 30 times. Christ, dude, just go down. I also don't like the fact that they don't have ponchos in fucking story mode. Why? Why? Javier's in the gang. Don't you think he'd like share some of his Mexican Spanish shit from Mexico? Don't you think that would be a part of the gang's like culture? You know, you think some of them would be wearing ponchos? No, none of them do. We get it in multiplayer though, and they're super fucking expensive, and half of them look like dog shit, like fat scarves. They don't look like fucking ponchos.
I don't like being...
Like, it's so difficult. And you can't wear coats under ponchos, which contradicts story mode, because Javier wears a coat under his poncho, and you can get Javier's outfit in multiplayer, which has a coat under a poncho. Why can't you wear coats under ponchos? Why? He's like, oh, well, it's clipping with the models. How about you just make the poncho model, not clip with all the coat models? You know, you just gotta put a little bit of fucking work into your fucking AAA Wild West video game. This game could be extremely well made. Like, this could be one of the best Rockstar multiplayers if they really just like tried. You know what I mean? If they just tried. They don't. They give a half-assed update where it's like, oh, you can tranquilize animals now. Okay, who would want to do that in a fucking Wild West game? Why can't I rob trains? Why can't I duel people in the street? Why can't I rustle cattle? I can't do any of that, can I? That's what story mode's for. Yeah, but story mode is it's again for story. As good as the gameplay in story mode is, nobody plays story mode.
They brought it on themselves. Then they died.
You know, to be.
I didn't have no choice.
To do this, they play multiplayer. To do multiplayer is more gameplay oriented. It's not story oriented. Even though there is a story, which it's half-baked at best. Oh, you're committing a revenge for this random fucking lady, and because she broke you out of prison, and there's 4 names on her list, and you took out 2, Colonel Sanders and some guy in Mandalorian armor. And then she's like, oh yeah, don't worry, I'll speak to you soon about the people. But, she again, and then she just fucking doesn't talk to you. I don't think I've actually done a story mission in about a year and a half now, because they just kind of gave up on multiplayer story. Like, online on GTA has a very good story. You know? It's not as good as GTA. Oh, for fuck's sake! Really? You're gonna do that to me, Rockstar? Your most loyal fan? You're just gonna cuck him last second. How long does it take to dunk a fucking health bottle? It doesn't take 30 million seconds. It takes 2 at most, Fuck me, dude. Like, really? And what's even the point of having retry checkpoint? It restarts the mission anyway. It shouldn't even be there. It should just be restart mission. There is no checkpoints in hard. Don't fucking give me this, oh, restart checkpoint. The checkpoint is the beginning of the bounty. What was even the point of wasting all those bullets just to fucking kill me in 3 shots? 3. They don't stop coming either. Why? Why do you have to add this artificial difficulty? How about just not raising the difficulty? And if you're gonna raise the difficulty, do what you did in the other bounties, where you just put more people to capture. That would be fine, because then it'll at least be fair. It's not. Don't even get me started on that fucker in the swamps. I will gut him alive next time I see him. Are you kidding me? He has one-hit, unavoidable alligators that you can't see. You can't see them. Not on the map, not in the swamp. You can't fucking see them. What's even the point? Whoever decided that the bounties you shouldn't be able to see the enemies anymore is an idiot. And then whoever thought in the new bounties was like, oh, just don't show them on your map, and don't mark them, and you're not allowed to auto aim on them anymore. Who the hell thought of that idea in ER? I will fight them. I will fist fight them. I will do it. That is the fucking stupidest idea I have ever heard in my life. I think I'd actually rather cut my dick off with a toothpick than actually listen to that man's reasoning. Because this is the problem. Why? Why? That's not difficult. It's unfair.
Welcome, friend.
It's unfair. Why are you being specifically unfair to the people that give you money? You know how easy it is for the entire fan base to just not buy your games anymore? I think it's actually easier to not buy a Rockstar game than to get a Rockstar game. So it's extremely easy just to lose all your money. Just think about it. Just think about it. If you just made a good game, you would make money. There's no need to put all of these microtransactions, all of these fucking gold bar shit. It can be optional, but sometimes it's required. You know how hard it is to make not only money, but gold in this game? Fucking impossible. I have 10 gold bars. I work in this game day in, day out. 10 gold bars. 10. Some people, they have like thousands of gold bars, but that's because not only was that when they didn't fuck up the daily challenges, but also they probably bought those. And if they didn't buy those, they definitely don't pee. They just sit on the toilet and play Red Dead. No offense. I respect the grind. But still. But why? Why not just make a good Red Dead Redemption 1? Fucking awesome. All of the DLC content in that game, fucking great. You had the Legends and Killers, which gave you all of not only Red Dead Revolver's characters, but Red Dead Redemption's characters for completely free. You didn't have to level up to get them. You just got them. You know, you bought it and you got them. And it was a very nice, touching reunion to the start of this franchise. Was Red Dead Revolver. Playing as Red Harlow in Red Dead Redemption 1 is fucking awesome. It's like playing as a beta John Marston. But I honestly like Red more than John because he represents the spaghetti western side of the Red Dead series, and I would prefer them to go in that direction rather than the Django Unchained and the Wild Bunch. As much as I love the story of Red Dead and Red Dead 1's story is phenomenal. There's some fucking guy, I don't remember his name, but he did like a 4-hour-long video on the entire Red Dead franchise, and he was complaining that Nigel West Dickens and Seth Breyers didn't have a story arc. Why would they need a story arc, dude? They are one-off characters. Technically, Seth has a character arc. You just have to learn about it through a newspaper, but you wouldn't bother doing any fucking research. But that's okay. Nigel West Dickens. Why is he in the game? Oh, maybe because they need a distraction to get into Fort Mercer. Who is a better distraction than a snake oil salesman? Why would he need to go through a character arc? Why, like, what, did you want him to pull a Steven Universe and see, like, why selling snake oil is wrong? No! He's a businessman. He wants to make money. His story arc is that he redeems himself by helping John Marston take out a revered outlaw. That is his story arc. Alright? Oh, the ranching, it's really dull. Like, what do you... it's for this... Dude, John Marston isn't just a phenomenal bounty hunter gunslinger. He's a farmer. That's what adds to his character. He is a ranching outlaw gunslinger. He's not only a gunslinger, but he's a legitimate cowboy. Like, actually, you know? That's why his outfit in Red Dead 2, when you get it in story mode, is called the Cowboy. Because he's not just a gunslinger, he's a cowboy. And then, okay, so before he talked about Red Dead 1, he talked about Red Dead Revolver, which is one of my favorite games of the PS2. One of my favorite. I think it's one of my favorite games, actually, because I have fun in it. And he was talking about that mission where you play as Jack Swift, and he was like, why are we playing as this English trick-shooting circus man that we don't know? And why are we fighting midget clowns in a circus? Well, if you use context clues, like I'm sure you learned in English class, the mission directly before that, Red Harlow runs into him at a broken-down circus caravan, where midget clowns are at. It is implied that the boss you fight in the next level, who he also complained to use magic, but it's a fucking dude. It was originally a Capcom game. And you're gonna complain that a Capcom game is cartoony just because Rockstar had a part in it doesn't mean that it's like supposed to be a gritty, realistic fucking take on a Western. No. And you talked about Annie Stokes. Why would we be playing Annie Stokes? I don't know. Maybe because she's also integral to the... Hold on, I gotta talk shit in game chat. How'd that go?
I mean, I didn't shoot, I just pointed.
What else was I supposed to think? Anyway, back to what I was saying. He was like, well, why are you playing this random ranch woman and ride bulls? Because, again, literally the mission before, she is hinted at needing money for her farm. Alright? 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 Then, the level after that, you play as her fighting off people at her farm. She talks to Red in the cutscene you meet her in, so he meets her at his farm. Alright? Or her farm. He shows her a pamphlet for the Battle Royale, which is $5,000, which is the money she needs to save her ranch. That is why you're playing as her. You're playing as these characters because they're integral to the story. The story is a classic Western revenge tale. And if you're going to complain that you're playing a classic Western revenge tale, you shouldn't be playing a Western game. And he complained about the gameplay, which is perfectly valid. The gameplay is, I mean, it's fun, but it can get very dull very quickly. But you can't complain about stuff like that because you don't know. Like, I've played the game. What's that?
Hey, need a lawman!
What was that for?
Sheriff, quick! Come on! Leave me be!
Just weird. Didn't expect it. Anyway, back to what I was saying. The reason why you play as those characters is because they're set up in the mission directly before you meet them. That is the whole purpose. You know, they're integral not only to the final mission where you go storm the mayor's fucking or the governor's mansion, you know, but they're to help you along the way. They're Red's friends. It sets up, you know, Red as a character. Oh, why are you taking out these random bounties? How are they important? Because Red is a bounty hunter, idiot. That's his whole character. He hunts bounties and he tries to hunt down the men that killed his family. Okay, and then he talked about how stupid the pistol was. The pistol is supposed to symbolize his father's respect in the community. No. His wealth, his happiness that was taken from him when his buddy set him up. That was the entire purpose of it. It's not just a gun, alright? It's not just a gun Red wanted. It's supposed to symbolize him reclaiming his father's love, his worth, his hard work. That is what it symbolizes. And if you are even going to try to claim yourself as a literature nerd, you have to see the symbolism. The story is not 100% perfect. No story is, alright? And spaghetti western stories are mainly terrible. No. They're all usually the same. Revenge, or stranger fixes everything, or outcast becomes hero, or shit like that, right? But but that's not what makes them good. What makes spaghetti westerns good is the cinematography, the soundtrack, the action, the fucking views, the attitude, everything. It's not just a story. It's a visual story. Most of the stories pose visuals. If you look in the midget clown level, right, where you're talking about, oh, it doesn't make any sense. That is the town where you killed those guys to save the sheriff, and the lady that is tied up is her daughter, his daughter. You save her, and then you go to Brimstone after learning about the dueling competition. I'm like, okay, what's the importance of
untie me, you piece of shit!
The train level? Why would you even question that? It's supposed to be a fun level where, you know, you finally meet that scumbag General Diego and you fucking put a bullet in his head. That is the entire point of the level. It's supposed to be some fun gauntlet that you play through. It's not a game that's heavily endowed on this thought-provoking story. It's very important. It's very gameplay oriented. The gameplay is subpar at best, I would say, except for the Deadeye mechanic, which was not revolutionary for the time, but was pretty cool. I think the character designs are fucking awesome, especially Red's. I think Red's character design is my favorite because it's not quite Clint Eastwood, but it's got that same vibe of dirty and rugged. Not Mountain Man, but like Wanderer. You know what I mean? Not the kind of guy you'd see in town for longer than a week.
No.
Because he's got a man to hunt, you know? And yeah, I think that Red Dead, the whole franchise, is reliant on that attitude, the gunfighter attitude, the wanderer attitude, you know, of you're not going to see me for longer than a week, I got to do my job, let me do my job.
Idiota.
I have ulterior motives for doing my job, but you're not allowed to know those. I'm only allowed to know those, kind of thing. And that's why I think Red Dead 2 was missing. I think it was missing that. The story is phenomenal. It is a great story. It's a great story of camaraderie falling apart because a snake infected a very impressionable man. That is the story. And, you know, unfortunately people got caught in the crossfire. That is a story, right? And it's very good at telling that story. I just think the way the game looks and the way it feels doesn't feel like a Red Dead game. It feels like, or at least not a redemption game. It should be called like Red Dead Retribution, Red Dead,
Surprised you brought
Red
him in
Dead
breathing.
Revisited,
More
or
mercy than most.
Red Dead something.
There's your
Not
money.
Redemption, because Redemption should, I think every Red Dead game should have a different R word to it, because I think that would be perfect. You know, because then you would have the excuse of, oh, it has a different attitude because it has a different title in it. You know, Retribution, very clean, very nice. You know, if you get retributed, you get respected again. You know,
Ah, you're back.
and
What can I do
Red
for
Dead
you?
Revolver, it's very you know, revolver is a gun. It's not as subtle. Guns aren't very subtle, which I think is very good. I think that's good.
Excuse
in a
me.
sense, you know, because
Welcome back, sir.
I think the fact that
What
Red Dead
were you looking for
Revolver
today?
is the more cartoony version makes sense that it's Revolver, and then Redemption is the grittier, serious but still kind of a western-ish game. You know, they still got the cinematic duels. They still have the dusty roads with the tumbleweeds. You still have ponchos. They still have, you know, the holster tied to the leg, which I think is very important to the aesthetic, is the holster tied to the leg, which I think, in my mind, symbolizes how close they are to their gun. Not the gun specifically, but just the art form of gunslinging. I think because Clint Eastwood had
you
his
have
tied to
kept
his
that
leg, the
perfectly
Django had
maintained. I
his in his
love
coat,
to
but if
see
I bet you
that.
if he did have a holster, his would be tied to his leg. Hell, even Django from Django Unchained, which is a modern western, had his tied to his leg. But I think the fact that the Red Dead holster is just flopping around kind of tells you that it's not as western inspired as it should be. You know what I mean? It's not.
Once they
It's not as
closed the
spaghetti.
saloon
It's
here,
not.
I
It's,
knew
it's not
Ansbrook future
enforcing.
was bleak.
It's not enforcing that gunfighter's attitude as much as the other Red Dead games did, which it's fine if you're going for that, but I don't think that's what a Red Dead game should look like. I think it should look like, not the good, the bad, and the ugly, because you can't, if you try to recreate that look, you'll just look like a fucking idiot. You shouldn't try to recreate the good, the bad, and the ugly. You can't. But I do think you should try to get that attitude of the, you know, the dust storms and the sand and the cactuses, which Red Dead Redemption 1 did beautifully. Did absolutely beautifully. I think the perfect Red Dead game would be the gameplay polish and story of Red Dead 2, the attitude and characters of Red Dead Revolver, and the look and feel of Red Dead 1. I think that would be the perfect Red Dead game.
There are
because
some desperate people in this town.
I think a lot of people
You
are
may
like,
want
oh,
to stock up
there
now."
should be more Red Dead Revolver-like things in there. There should. I think that would be a great idea. See, that's why I think we should have the characters and attitude of Red Dead Revolver. Have it more, not cartoony, but more not goofy, but I don't know, more mystical, like legendy kind of attitudes to it. You know, like the legends of lightning fast guns that if you blink you're dead, kind of shit. And then, you know, I think we should revisit Red Harlow, definitely. I think
Just about every gun
I
in
think
this town
it would be.
came out
I
of
think it
my
would be
store.
cool if
Not
Red
sure
Harlow.
I've kept the town
and,
safe, but
I'll call this Red
definitely
Dead.
kept it armed.
Red Dead Revisited. We'll call it that. And I think in Red Dead Revisited, the story should be how Red Harlow, after, you know, killing the governor, went on his way from that, from turning into a bounty hunter slash
I know these
apparent
firearms
avenger
inside and
to
out. Feel free to
wanted
ask
man
anything.
to outlaw, and then at the end of the game, he looks, you know, he turns into Uncle, like an uncle-ish kind of character, kind of goofy, and then you run into the Van der Linde gang. I think that would be the best, and it has the look of Red Dead 1, the story of Red Dead 2, the story quality of Red Dead 2, and the gameplay and customization of Red Dead 2, but the characters and attitude
Please,
of Red Dead
take your
Revolver.
time.
I think that would be perfect. I think it would actually be one of the better Red Dead games because it would have everything everybody wants. You know, everybody wants. Most people want Red Dead 2, the style of Red Dead 2 to continue, right? Like, so yeah, we give them the story and the story depth and gameplay of Red Dead 2. And then some people were like, oh, I like Red Dead 1 better, John Marston for life. And then we give them the look and style of Red Dead 1. And people are like, oh, Red Dead Revolver is the best one. And we give them the attitude and characters of Red Dead Revolver. Perfect. Everybody'd be happy. You know, and then we'd be able to tie all the Red Dead games together. You know, so there isn't this messed up timeline of, oh no, some characters, they're not, you know, Red Dead Revolver never happened, though we're gonna reference it in both the Red Dead Redemption games, and, like, come on, man. Just make it canon that Uncle's fucking Red Harlow. It's not difficult. You know what I mean? Like, this game is really, I don't know. I think this game would actually be perfect. Would actually be perfect if it had the characters of Red Dead Revolver, the story quality of Red Dead Redemption 2, and the look of Red Dead Redemption 1. Everybody gets what they want. Everybody. I would love to have Red Harlow return as the main character, you know, and but I also like the look of Red Dead 1. It's very dusty, very dirty, very Western. But I also love the story of Red Dead 2. A lot of people like the story of Red Dead 2. I think the story of Red Dead 2 is perfect. It's not perfect, you know, storytelling-wise, but for a Red Dead game, perfect, alright? The look of Red Dead 1 is perfect for a Western game. It's dusty, it's dirty, it's gritty, it's not polished. I lost a viewer. Cool. Anyway, it's not as purdy as this game is. This game is very wet, very moist. Not a fan of how moist it is. Everything looks fucking wet and gross.
Push in now! Get closer!
What's going on here? Cool.
Head back that way, you'll see him.
I have no fucking idea what made that guy leave, but he left, and I don't appreciate joining and leaving. I think you at least let me hear me out. And I think he left because of my viewpoint. Either he left because of my viewpoints on the Red Dead series, or he left because he found my voice annoying, or he just left because he got bored. But all three of those reasons, you know, could have been evaded if he just stayed, because I think this is a very enlightening discussion. You know, I would actually like other people to join and talk to me about it, because I would actually like to hear what other people think. Because I don't know what other people think about this idea. I think this idea is very good. Not good. I just think it would be perfect personally, because it's everything everybody wants. Everybody likes about Red Dead games. You know. And I'm not even saying like, oh, retcon or don't show Arthur or John. I think that would actually be very idiotic to not show them. I think we should show them near the end of the game, you know, when Uncle first joins the Van der Linde gang, you know, young Arthur and maybe like a little 10-year-old John with his fucking clean face and his stupid hat, his stupid Rip Van Winkle hat. Yeah, I think that would actually be great. You know, and then you could show how Uncle loses his Scorpion revolver, which would be maybe the climax of the game. How he loses his father's trust and pride, and maybe that leads him to start drinking, because you know, Red Harlow doesn't drink. He's never been shown to drink. But I think if, you know, there was like a scene near the end of the game, kind of like Arthur with his tuberculosis. I think there's a scene maybe on the last chapter where the gameplay kind of switches, like with Arthur, where aiming's a little more difficult than it used to be, because Uncle after losing, you know, or Red Harlow / Uncle losing his prized pistol, prized revolver, started drinking because he was so upset that he lost his dad's gun after he worked so hard for it, and that's what turns him into Uncle. I think that would be actually really good. And it'd be very good for the story, I think, at least. You know. It would be able to perfectly tie up all the loose ends in the Red Dead series, I think. You know, oh, what happened to Red Harlow? Why is Uncle so weird? You know, why is the Red Dead Revolver game so different from Red Dead Redemption's other attitudes towards the Western genre? And then, you know, and then you could explain that way. Oh, Uncle / Red Harlow lost his gun. He got a very bad drinking habit. He has very foggy memories of what happens, and every time he tells a story, it's extremely exaggerated. And you get to hear him talk about the midget clowns and shit like that, and it would be very fun. I think that'd be very good for the franchise.
Hey there, good looking.
But yeah, I think that would be.
Like I thought. You mad? No problem. Come on now.
I don't know, man.
I know.
I think it'd be very good.
How's your problem?
It'd be a very good.
What the hell?
I think it's a good idea. I think it's a great idea. But
What's the hurry?
hello. I've just been rambling about the Red Dead series because I love it. It's one of my favorite gaming series. Period. El Gringo. Chili, I know that's you. I have a question, Chili. Do you think, alright, do you think it'd be a good idea if the next Red Dead game brings back Red Harlow as the main character, right? And not only brings him back, but explains what happens to him. Because there's always been this big question in the Red Dead franchise. What happened to Red Harlow? Where did he go? This is my idea. Alright? The game's aesthetic, attitude, people. All people from, you know, the characters and the attitude. Red Dead Revolver, right? We get that aspect. The look from Red Dead Redemption 1, you know, the aesthetic, the landscapes, the style, right? Get that one. And then the story, it has the same quality as Red Dead 2, and I think it would be perfect. This would be great. So it starts out right after you kill the governor, right? And Red gets his gun back, right? And so, you know, Red's now a wanted man. So he's running around, you do misc bounties and shit like that for the first chapter, right? This is going to be like a 5-chapter setup, right? So if the first 2 chapters is him running from the law and doing bounties here and there, and running into bounty hunters, because he has like a $5,000 bounty on him now. 3rd chapter, he meets Dutch van der Linde, and he meets Hosea Matthews and Arthur Morgan, and let's just say John Marston. Let's just throw them out there. So we see all of the characters. Not all of them, just, you know, the 4 main ones that everybody knows and loves, alright? And Red Harlow, being a wanted man and seeing that they're not as bad as the people that he turns in for money, he joins up with them. And so, you know, it'd be them doing misc robberies of like a bank maybe for the big finale, and then a couple stagecoach robberies, and then you know, there'd be a mission where you give it out to the poor, you know, like the van der Linde gang was. So then the 4th chapter, alright, you start to see, you know, Red kind of, you know, start slowly slipping, because I think by the time of this game he would be around 30, 40 years old, because if you do the math, Red was born around 1849. In the time of Red Dead Revolver, it takes place around the 1870s, around there. So he'd be like in his 20s, mid to late 20s. So he'd be in his early 40s, late 30s. But all right. But not only that, he would start losing his mind a bit. And in one mission, this would be the climax of the game, he loses his prized revolver that his dad showed him when he was a kid, that he got when he killed Governor, and it's very important to him. It'd be a mission, maybe they're robbing a train, and he loses it because it falls off a mountain, he's not able to get it anymore. He goes into this grief-stricken craziness. He starts getting into drinking, and just like in Chapter 5 in Red Dead 2, like, you know, how tuberculosis changes the gameplay, for the entire game it'd be, you know, you're accurate, you know, you're Red Harlow, you're kicking ass, you know, and now, you know, your aim's a little sloppy, your cursor kinds of moves a little bit, because you're drinking. Red Harlow has never been shown to be a drinker, which is why I think if he turned into an alcoholic because he lost his gun, it would actually be quite sadly poetic. And then, by the end of the game, you know, he's gone off the deep end, right? And it's revealed at the end of the game that Red Harlow is Uncle. You know, and the reason why Uncle is so weird, and the reason why the Red Dead Revolver game is so weird, is because he's telling stories from his childhood that he can't remember clearly because he's an alcoholic, he's crazy, he's senile, he's lost it because he lost his gun, his dad's gun that he worked so hard to get. You know, he avenged their deaths and lost all of that work because of a botched robbery or whatever, right? And, you know, and by the end of the game, you turn into crazy old uncle. There you go. That would be, let's call that Red Dead Retribution. I think that would be a very good Red Dead game. You know, it has the look of Red Dead 1, the attitude of Red Dead Revolver, and the characters from Red Dead Revolver. Maybe get a cameo from Annie Stokes or the Buffalo Soldier. Who knows? And the story quality of actual writers. I'm just a fucking 16-year-old kid that loves Western films and reads. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that would be great. I don't know why, like, that legitimately should be the next Red Dead game, because I think everybody would like that. There's already so many theories that, you know, Uncle's Red Harlow. What happened to Red Harlow? Oh, he's Uncle. He went crazy at some point. That would tie all of the Red Dead games in a perfect little bowl, and it would be a flowing story. You know, everybody's like, oh, we want to see the start of the Van der Linde gang, not the end, not after they disbanded, but the start. Maybe you could see it from, you know, Uncle/Red Harlow's point of view. You know, you see Arthur and John and Hosea and Dutch in their heyday as Red Harlow, Uncle, you know. And people are like, oh, what happened to his revolver? Because if you look at his Uncle's revolver in game, it looks absolutely nothing like the Scorpion revolver. Because not only is it a Schofield, it's black and steel with orange, and he doesn't, you know, and he wears a very similar coat to Red Harlow's coat. It is I think it's a sheepskin coat with fur on it. That looks not a lot, like, it's not navy blue like it should be, but, you know, maybe it's, you know, maybe bought a new one, or crap, made a new one, who knows. His hat looks very similar. It doesn't have the metal on it, but maybe he lost that as well. But it does have the cuts in it, the scrapes. It has that same kind of, like, dip to it, I guess. And I think the way to explain why his revolver looks so weird and not the same is, you know, he loses it, like I said, because if I was Red Harlow, you know, I've been fighting, bounty hunting, grieving for 20 odd years because some fuckboy in a military uniform shot my parents, and I finally avenged them. I get the gun that was supposed to be mine, and then you lose it in a train robbery. That would drive me nuts. I think I would turn into a senile young man. Even that would drive a man to the brink of insanity, to the brink of senilism, to alcoholism, drugs, shit like that. You know, I think that would be great. And the reason why I want it to look like Red Dead 1 and not Red Dead 2 is because Red Dead 2 looks moist. Like, that's the only way I can describe it, man. It's moist. Everything looks wet. Everything looks damp. It looks gross. It looks like everything's been dipped in soup. It doesn't look like a Western. I love New Austin, but they don't care to do anything about New Austin. You know what I mean? They don't do anything with New Austin. They're just like, oh yeah, we have Red Dead 1's map. Yay! And then they don't put anything in it. Even in story mode, where you'd be like, oh, maybe there's something to do in New Austin. Nope. There are 2 bounty missions. 2. Can't do fucking anything. And you get a bare, like, and you get to see, like, a glimpse of Armadillo in a story mission with Sadie. A tiny little peek, and that's it. You know? And, you know, Uncle hints at being a rancher in Red Dead 1, which is why I think it would be perfect for Uncle to be Red Harlow, regardless of the theories, because, you know, Red Harlow worked at a farm. He worked on a farm with his parents. So why not just say, hey, Uncle's Red Harlow? Because, yeah, sure, he doesn't have the facial scars, but who knows, man? Maybe under that beard, he's got those whiskers still, because Red Harlow's beard is a little chin strap. It's not a bushy beard, and his scars aren't as big as John's. They're like tiny straight lines on the side of his face, and maybe his beard's hiding it. Maybe that red rag he always has is his dad's bandana that he used to wrap around his hand, but since he's old and senile, he doesn't need to have that red bandana on his, you know, hand. You never learn Uncle's real name, ever, and, you know, maybe, you know, maybe it's a running thing, you know, because we're like, oh, why is he called Uncle? Well, if you notice, Jack, John's son, calls everybody, every male member of the Van der Linde gang, Uncle. Uncle Hosea, Uncle Arthur, Uncle Bill, Uncle Javier. Does it, you know, so maybe, you know, John did the same. You know, maybe that's just a family thing, where, you know, he just called, you know, Red Harlow Uncle, and he was like, fuck it, that's my name now, after he went senile and crazy, you know? Yeah, I don't, and the thing is that doesn't even have to be in a new Red Dead game. You could just make that a short 3-chapter campaign, side-off story. I think that would actually be great, if that was like a Ballad of Gay Tony kind of thing. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like, it's a little side story, just to add on. Like a little cheap $30 add-on, where you could just play as young Red Uncle. That's what I'm gonna call him now. And it just tells you what happened between Red Dead Revolver and Red Dead Redemption 2. It would be great, actually, you know? It doesn't have to take place over 1 year. Maybe it could take every chapter, maybe every couple years.
Hey!
What the fuck is this?
Come here! Don't be rude, huh?
What is this?
You know how I can get where I'm staying? I think... you think you can help me, maybe?
Oh, fuck it.
I ain't asking much here, so... Yeah? Alright then.
Okay, cool. Anyway,
Someone
back to what I was saying.
shit in this shithole town. Just as dumb as the rest, though. Whoa!
Nope. Little does he know, I'm the one-shot kid. I think, speaking of Red Dead Revolver, I remember listening to, there was a guy who did a retrospective of the entire Red Dead series. He didn't talk about gameplay or anything. He talked about the story of the Red Dead franchise, the evolution of it, shit like that. He was complaining about Red Dead Revolver's story, and I'll get to his complaints about Red Dead Redemption 1's story in just a second, because that shit confuses me to this day. His complaints about Red Dead Revolver's story, he had two main ones. The story isn't told through the game, it's told through a journal, which is bullshit. It's not told through the game. It is told through the game. Just the journal is side bits of the story. But also the characters you play as other than Red, you don't know who they are. That is also a bullshit complaint, which I know he probably just skipped the cutscenes. It's fine, I do the exact same thing, but I still had to grasp the story. There's a mission where you go to a wrecked caravan, a carnival caravan, to go get a bounty. That carnival had a traveling British trick shooter by the name of Jack Swift. You meet him in that level. You fight midget clowns, which for a Western game is weird, but whatever. I mean, like in the Django, the gang members, not Unchained by the way, the 1966 version, they all had red bandanas that covered his face, and he had a fucking Gatling gun in a coffin, so, you know, you take what you get. So, you fight the midget clowns, you kill the big fat guy with the dynamite all over his head, and you free Jack, and then Jack says, I have some business to take care of. It is it's almost told to you, basically, that Jack is going to his old carnival barker to settle his accounts, to settle the shit, that the beef they have with each other. And he was saying that it didn't make any sense that you'd be playing as his character because you don't know who he is. Yes, you do. And you know why he's there. It is basically fucking told to you why he's there. Is it weird that this carnival barker not only has magical midget clowns and fire breathers and is fucking teleporting? Yes, it is very weird. But that's what makes Red Dead Revolver fun. It is weird. And that's what I love it. I think as much as I love Red Dead 2, I mean, don't get me wrong, this game is awesome. I think it's one of the best games ever, not let alone open world games or Rockstar games. I think it's one of the best Rockstar games in general, just single player wise. But I think personally, I think that Red Dead 2 takes itself too seriously. You know, it's supposed to be this. You know, Red Dead has always had this slight sense of humor about the legend of the West. You know, the snake oil salesman is a fat piece of shit that sells you know, poison, basically. You have a necrophiliac treasure hunter that. And I learned this I think a couple weeks ago. Apparently, when you beat the fucking campaign, you can read a newspaper, and apparently Seth found treasure and became a millionaire. A millionaire. Seth, like, he had the biggest character arc in the entire Red Dead series. Fuck Arthur Morgan's character arc, as good as it is. Seth went from a homeless, crazy, toothless necrophiliac that couldn't even solve 2 + 2, barely reads, doesn't know how to talk, barely knows how to talk, has no social skills whatsoever, to a billionaire, to a business owner. And I think that's one of the coolest things, is some of the biggest, most important arcs in Red Dead are not told directly. You know, they're implied. Anyway, so he was, and then he complained about Annie Stokes. He was like, "Why are we playing as this random woman That doesn't make any sense. Why are we playing as her? I'm like, oh, I don't know. Maybe because in the mission before she was at the bank needing money, and they need to set up a reason on why she knows Red in the first place. I don't know. Maybe because she says that she needs money, approximately $5,000, which Red knows that the Battle Royale is offering $5,000. So he meets her after she's defended her ranch, because again, this is a gameplay-oriented game, not a story-oriented game. Not that the story is perfect, but it's not as bad as this guy makes it out to be. And then he talks about Shadow Wolf. He's like, oh, why are we playing as this random Native American? As much as I love this level, why are we playing as him? Again, he's Red's cousin. He has to save Red. Red has been kidnapped by General Diego's army. How the fuck else is he gonna escape? He needs Shadow Wolf's help. Dumbass. Anyway, then he complains about Red Dead 1 story with the almost exact same complaint. There is no meaningful character arcs. He complains that there is no character arc for Nigel West Dickens, Seth Briers, the Marshal. Why? Why would there need to be? I don't see why there needs to be a character arc for every character in every story ever. Not every story, not every character needs this giant arc. You know what I mean? You know, they're called secondary characters, my friend. You learn this in 5th grade, I believe. Secondary characters have barely any character development. They are only there to help the main character on their way. They're only there to develop the main character, not to develop themselves. But another question, another hole in that argument, Seth does have a character arc. It's just not directly in your face. You have to buy a newspaper and read about it. And again, I think it's one of the biggest, most drastic character arcs in Red Dead history. You know, like, oh, Arthur went from an outlaw to, he redeemed himself as an outlaw and saved his brother. As awesome as that is, as much as I love that, Arthur Morgan has nothing on Seth, right? He went from homeless, crazy, and a necrophiliac, hunting for worthless treasure, to a millionaire business owner. Please explain to me how that's not a character arc at all. Please. Well, why are we talking to a snake oil salesman? Maybe because literally the mission before you meet him, the marshal says we need a distraction again before Mercer. And I know just the guy. And you know, who's a better distraction than a fat, crazy, old snake oil salesman? And Nigel West Dickens missions are one of my favorite in the game. They're so fun. You get to talk to this weird, crazy guy. You get to shoot a hat off somebody's head. You get to fucking fist fight people. You get to race carriages. You get to shoot people from a snake oil wagon. Who wouldn't want to do that at all? He is one of the most entertaining characters in Red Dead. You know, he's not the most entertaining character. I think the most entertaining character is Uncle. Al is Uncle, 100%, because he's just fucking great. But not only that, but he's just, why would he need a character arc, man? He's a snake oil salesman. He's a businessman. Why would he need to change his ways just because he helped John invade Fort Mercer? Why would he need to do that? He's a businessman. He needs to make money. This is the way he makes his money, is selling snake oil. Do I think that's good? No. But it's a video game. It's a Wild West video game. And snake oil is one of, not the most frequent job in the Western genre. You don't really see it a lot. But it is definitely a part of Western culture. It's snake oil. You know? That's where the term snake oil comes from. You know? The West. People selling shady medicine that doesn't do anything, that claims to do everything. That is what snake oil is. I think it is very important for people to understand that. It is not You know, snake oil isn't just medicine. It's not just a scam. It's a very deadly scam, which is why I think it makes Nigel S. Dickens such an interesting character. He is selling basically poison to people, but he's so fun. Why would you need him to do anything more than be himself? He is an extremely entertaining character. He's like a more smart, non-alcoholic uncle. Why would you need him to change at all? You know? Anyway, I lost Chili. But yeah, I don't understand. Red Dead games would be so much better if fuck you. No. Oh, they didn't have a meaningful character arc. Not every character needs a fucking character arc, dude. Like, come on, man. You fucking kidding me? Micah Bell is one of the best characters of Red Dead history. He doesn't have a character arc at all. He is a dickhead throughout the entire game. He doesn't change, period. But he is an extremely important character in the Red Dead series. Why would he need to change? Oh, he should change his ways. He should be a better... No. Because we need somebody like Micah to show how easy it is for a snake to disguise himself as a goose, as a swan, you know? It is extremely, you know, it shows how manipulative he is as a person. You know, he doesn't change at all. When you meet him in the mountains, he is the same old snake-eyed bitch boy from, you know, Beaver Hollow. He's still corrupting Dutch, though I think Dutch understands that Micah was going to corrupt him and he was going to kill him in there, because he said the same as you, I suppose. You know, he says that. But I don't know, man. I find our arguments against Red Dead 1 story and Red Dead 2 story to be very weird. Like, oh, every character had a character arc. No, not every character in Red Dead 2. Not every important good character had a character arc in Red Dead 2. What's another character, like a good character? Mary Beth didn't have a character arc. She was a laugh, giggly, romance writing girl from beginning to end. Miss Grimshaw, same
Supplies are good.
same character throughout. Nobody complains about her characterization. But no.
Beautiful.
Nigel West Dickens, you know, Jack Swift, Red Harlow don't go through a character change at all. No, they don't need to. The story's not about change. It's about the West. It's not made for that fucking idiot. But I don't know. I find it really fucking idiotic when people complain about that. You know what I mean? Like, does anybody else get mad about that? Especially with games that they know doesn't deserve criticism like that. Like, you can criticize Red Dead all you want. You can criticize multiplayer, its story. I don't care. But make valid arguments. Don't say characters didn't have character development when they don't need it. Don't say, oh, this character was outright, straight up evil. No, black or just black and white, which is not true. Sure, Micah is straight, you know, and that's the point of his character, but that doesn't mean that there isn't a gray area in morality in other places, like Javier, for example. He's a stone-cold killer. He is an assassin, but he still has a heart. He still gives mercy. He listens to Dutch when he says leave people alone.
Nice to see
He
you.
does what he's told. He doesn't think Micah's good. He just listens to Dutch, and Dutch likes Micah, but that doesn't mean he does. Bill is very... His character arc spans between Red Dead 2 and Red Dead 1. He went from a drunk that everybody doesn't hate, but loathes, to... I don't know, kind of a... I don't know, kind of a brutish killer by the end of Red Dead 2. And that's what turns him into the Bill Williamson we know from Red Dead 1. The brutish, unforgiving, outlaw, bounty, bandit killer. You know? That's the gray area right there, you know? Even Arthur, to an extent, shows gray area and morality. You know, you kill all these people and all these people's lives, but you know, you still have that good in you. That's kind of the point of Red Dead. But how are we able to show the gray area and the morality of outlawism without that one bad egg? You know, if everybody was in gray area, the meaning of Arthur's sacrifice and everybody else's character would mean absolutely nothing. We need that driving force of terribleness to emphasize the importance of, you know, you staying good, you being good and helping people and not just killing everybody willy-nilly. People even complain about that. Oh, I'm not able to treat this like a fucking Wild West playground. That's what multiplayer is for. You play story mode for the story and the atmosphere. You don't play it for freedom. And it's not even like you don't get freedom. You just get punished for exercising that freedom. Which is not even severe. If you just didn't care about your honor level, which, you know, if you want pure freedom, you know, you wouldn't even care about your honor level. But that's really it. You get bounty hunters, which you can kill for fun. You get to, you know, you get more money than people that would be doing good stuff. Like you get to rob trains whenever you want because you don't care. That's what I did my first time. I just did whatever the fuck I wanted. I treated Red Dead a story like a playground. Well, because mainly there wasn't online when I first played, but still, I treated it like a playground. And I had my fun, and then I played my second playthrough. I was treating it more seriously. I didn't skip any of the cutscenes. I did all the good things. I tried to do as much as I possibly could. And then my third playthrough, I kind of did the same with my second playthrough, but it did a little bit more of the first playthrough's like attitude of freedom. I just kind of did what I wanted. And yeah, it was Red Dead can be a very fun game if you just don't let the honor system get in your way.
Supplies are good.
Again, now that there's online, you can't even complain that you don't have freedom anymore. Online is literally nothing but freedom. Nothing but anything. Your honor level doesn't mean jack shit in online. You don't get, honestly, lower honor actually benefits you because you get to do a fucking bank robbery mission, which doesn't give you any money, but you get to do it. You know, you get to rob a bank if you have bad honor. You know, and who wouldn't want to do that? And in online, you get more freedom in the things you want to do. If you want to bounty hunt, you can bounty hunt as much as you want. You want to do trader, you can be a trader. You wanna sell moonshine, sell moonshine. You want to run around and explore the map and find collectibles, collector. And if you don't want to do any of those, you can do just stranger missions. There's so much freedom in online, but that freedom comes with a consequence. Rockstar doesn't fucking care about online. They all the updates so far have been fucking dog shit. Dog shit. All the updates after Moonshiner, where they added the Navy revolver and the Moonshiner and all that, dog shit. Dog shit. The Bounty Hunter update, fucking dog shit. The Outlaw Pass that came with it, terrible. It's giving us Arthur Morgan's Witcher outfit, which I'm sure I won't be able to edit at all, which is weird. Why can't I edit outfits? That's weird. I can edit every other outfit but the ones I get through the Outlaw Pass. Those are the ones that I want to edit to my liking. A lot of them have the look that I go for. Like, I would love to have Javier's poncho and his pants. I'd love to have his pants specifically for Red Harlow. I think that'd actually be perfect. But, I don't know, man. drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. I love this game. I will support this game till the day I die. But it is definitely lacking in the content department. It's lacking in the clothing department, the weapon department, the balance department. It's lacking in the option department. And if Rockstar just gave a fuck, it wouldn't be a problem. But since nobody's joining, I'm just gonna end the broadcast here. Yeah. At least I got a subscriber out of it. See ya.